Hello guys, good morning. You are welcome to my YouTube channel, the Explicit Tutorials. As you all know, I'm Tutor Joseph or Mr. Explicit. Please, as you watch this video, endeavor to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Alright, in today's class, we shall be looking at Zoo 101, and the course is titled Introduction to Mammalian Body. And at the end of this class, we shall be looking at questions you are likely to see in the forthcoming examination, and this video focuses on just chapter 1 of Zoo 101, and the topic is Introduction to Mammals and Adaptation to the Environment. Okay, that is the topic. Introduction to Mammals and Adaptation to their environment. Okay, now this topic talks about the different diversities of mammals and how they are adapted, alright, to their various environments, or how the features, alright, the features that enable them to withstand the extreme changes in their environment. Okay, it also implies there's a unique or the peculiar characteristics that mammals exhibit, which are mostly not found in other organisms. Now, before we go into the questions I have on the board, alright, before we go into these simple questions, let us quickly say one or two things as regard this topic. Hope you are set. Let's get started. Now, as you all know, when you are asked what are mammals, alright, you don't have to start beating about the bush. You simply say that mammals are organisms that have hair or fur on their body, and they also possess what is called mammary gland. Alright, so these are the two features, these are the two most commonly known features of mammals. Any animal at all that has hair or fur on its body, it is called a mammal. And any animal at all that has the mammary gland, which we commonly call breast, is called a mammal. Okay? Now, the word fur is to animals, alright? While hair is to human beings. Dogs, don't say dogs have hair. The best word to use is fur, F-U-R. So, fur is to animals and hair is to human beings. Now, we said that they have hair on their body and they have the mammary gland. Okay, also note that they possess parietal hair. I'm just trying to make or to do an introduction to this topic. Now let's jump into it very well. Number one, what are the features of mammals? Just as I initially said, that they have what is called the mammary gland. Mammary gland. Alright, and of course the mammary gland is situated at the chest region. And of course the function of the mammary gland is to produce milk. Of course, you know that in the midbrain lies the pituitary gland, also called the master gland. The pituitary gland produces different types of hormones, which are prolactins, oxytocin, gonadotrophins, somatotrophins, and antidiuretic hormones. All of these are produced by the anterior pituitary gland. Now, why did I mention the pituitary gland? I did because it has a crucial role in the production or secretion of what? Milk. The prolactin, which is produced by the anterior pituitary gland, stimulates the production of milk in the mammary gland. Alright? The prolactin stimulates its production. Alright, production of milk is to prolactin, while the oxytocin controls the flow of milk in the mammary gland. Prolactin is production or secretion, while oxytocin is what? Flow of milk in the mammary gland. Hope that is understood. You also have the somatotropins. The somatotropins are hormones responsible for the growth of the body muscles, okay? While the gonadotrophins is responsible for the enlargement and the development of the gonads. Alright, what are the gonads? The gonads are termed the reproductive organs, which are testes in man and ovaries in woman. Okay, so all of these are gonads, and the hormones that stimulate their maturity or their development is called what? It's called what? Repeat after me. It is called what? You are looking at me. Okay, you are looking at me. What do you call the hormones? Gonadotropins. Alright? I made mention of ADH, antidiuretic hormone. The antidiuretic hormone is responsible, it helps the kidney tubules to reabsorb water from the glomerular filtrate of the Bowman's capsule. Alright, you know that the basic units of the kidney is called nephron, okay? And the nephron is made up of 3 conspicuous parts. Alright, the tubule, the Henle's loop, and what? The collecting duct. These are the 3 parts of the nephron. And then, of course, the tubule, we now have the proximal convoluted tubule, which is the major region of selective reabsorption. And we now have what? The distal convoluted tubule, which of course you have ions being secreted there. They now have the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule is a cup-shaped structure of the kidney where ultrafiltration occurs. Alright. Of course, in the Henle's loop, you have urine that is okay. In the Henle's loop, concentrated urine is collected in it. So please note that the mammary gland, of course, the prolactin stimulate the production of milk, and the oxytocin stimulate the flow of milk. Alright, please take note. It's good to understand it very well. Then number 2, and of course, I said they have 4 or hair. Alright, of course, the hair is known. Of course, I know AB department very well. The lecturers and the professors in AB department, they are good at calling questions. They'll ask, which of the following appendages is known as the hallmark of mammal? Hallmark. Which of the following appendages is known as the hallmark of mammals? The answer is what? The hair. The hair is known as what? The hallmark of mammal. And the hair grows from a deep pit called the hair follicle. Alright, the hair grows from a deep pit called the hair follicle. Okay, please. And the major component or the major constituent of the hair is keratin. Keratin. And the keratin is proteinous. It is waterproof. Alright, it provides support. Alright, it provides support for the hair. Please take note of that. It is proteinous and it is what? Waterproof. It is the major component of the hair is what? Keratin. Now keratin is produced by the keratinocyte. Now as we look at the skin, you are going to understand properly the function of the keratin, the melanin, and the collagen. All of these are going to be discussed properly in the skin. Okay, so but let us not go into that for now. Now number 3 is that they possess 3 tiny bones in their ear. They possess 3 tiny bones. 3 tiny bones in their ear. 3 tiny bones. Now, these 3 tiny bones are found in the inner ear. You know, we have 3, the ear is divided into 3 parts, the outer, the middle, and the inner. Inside the inner, we have 3 tiny bones. The malleus, incus, and stapes. Alright, the malleus, incus, and stapes. Alright, malleus, incus, and stapes is from the outside to the inside. Then stapes, incus, and malleus is from the inside to the outside. The malleus is also called hammer. The incus is also called anvil, while the stapes is also called the stirrup. Alright, so mammals have 3 tiny bones inside the inner ear. Now these 3 tiny bones are called the ear ossicles. What is their function? They help in the transmission of what? Vibrations, thereby bringing about balance. Of course, the major parts of the ear that brings about balance is the semicircular canal. That is, by the way. Now, the three tiny bones are malleus, incus, and stapes, otherwise called hammer, anvil, and stirrup, respectively. Now, all of these three tiny bones, the smallest is the stapes. And the stapes, which are the smallest bones, are held in position by a muscle called the stapedius muscle. The stapedius muscle holds the stapes in position. Number 4 is that the lower jaw of mammal is hinged directly to the skull. Alright, the lower jaw of mammal is hinged directly to the skull or cranium or brain box. Now, the bone that helps in the fusion of this lower jaw to the skull, we call it the squamosal bone. Squamosal bone. The squamosal bone is that bone in the skull where the lower jaw is fused into, or like the quadrant bone separate what? Bone. Number 5 is that these guys, the what is called parental care. Alright, when they give birth to their young ones alive, they care for them, they cater for them. That's what they call what? Parental care. Alright, parental care. And also note that mammals, we exhibit endothermy. Alright, we are endothermic, homeothermic. Alright, homeothermic. Now, endo means inside, right? Is that correct? Endo means inside. Right? Thermy means heat. Regulation. This word homeothermic means warm-blooded. Warm-blooded. Unlike fishes and amphibians that are poikilotherms, that is, they are cold-blooded. Endothermy is the ability of mammals to regulate their body temperature internally. Alright? Now, please, what you note about endotherms? Endotherms are organisms such as mammals that generate heat internally. They have the ability to generate their own heat. It therefore implies that they do not depend on external source for heat. Alright, so when they produce heat internally, they regulate their body temperature. Unlike the ectotherms and poikilotherms. The ectotherms, also called poikilotherms, they do not produce their own heat. Do you understand? So they depend on external source for heat in order to regulate their body temperature. Now, homeotherms, their body temperature is constant with that of what? Their environment. So please, homeotherms, don't forget warm-blooded, poikilotherms, cold-blooded. Do not forget that. Number 7 feature you should note about these guys is that they have complex set of teeth. Complex set of teeth. Alright, complex set of teeth, which could be, we have as complex dentition, heterodonts. Heterodont means different set of teeth. Different set of teeth. You now have the diphyodont. Diphyodont means 2 pairs of teeth, the permanent and the temporal teeth. You now have the tecodont. The tecodont is characterized by the ability of the teeth to fuse inside the socket. When the teeth are embedded in the socket, we call it the tecodont. Of course, this homodont is not possessed by mammal. Homodont is possessed by a reptile such as what? Lizard. Which of the following organisms possesses homodont dentition? It is a lizard. Homo means the same. unlike hetero, which is what? Different. So please take note of that. It is very, very important. Okay. Now, I haven't given us all these vital points regarding mammals. Okay. Let us look at the various classification of mammals. All right. Mammals, classification of mammals. Mammals are classified into three parts. All right, we have the Eutherian mammals. These we also call the placental mammals. The Eutherian mammals are also called placental mammals. We now have the marsupial mammals. The marsupial mammals. Alright, now to have the monotrems. Now the Eutherian, also called the placental mammals. Now, as the name implies, placental mammals, it means that they have the placenta. And of course, you know that the placenta is an embryonic structure. It joins the fetus to the mother. And of course, the placenta does a lot of things. Alright, it plays a vital role. Okay, one, it is the medium through which food leaves the mother into the fetus. It is also the region of gaseous exchange between the mother and the fetus. The placenta also is responsible for the removal of metabolic products from the fetus. Now, when the fetus excretes, it passes through the placenta and it be excreted out through the mother. Okay, so it is a region of gaseous exchange. It is a region, or it's responsible for the movement of nutrients between the mother and the fetus. Okay, so please take note of that. There are a lot of functions of the placenta, but let's stop there for now. What are examples of placentas? Of course, human beings, goats, sheep, numerous squirrels, all of these are mammals. Okay, now the marsupial mammals, please don't forget this. The marsupial mammals are also called pouched mammals. Now don't forget that the marsupial, the placental mammals, they exhibit internal fertilization. So do the marsupial mammals. They all exhibit internal fertilization. Please, the Eutherian mammals, which are the placentas, they have a long period of gestation. But the marsupials, they have a short period of gestation. And they have a long period of post-birth development. Why is this so? Now look at it. The marsupials are called pouched mammals because the young ones, when they are giving birth to, they are undeveloped. That is, they are not completely developed. What happens? They are not carried by their parents in the pouch. Alright? Pouch is a pocket-like structure. The pouch is a pocket-like structure in which these mammals carry their young ones until they are fully developed. Okay? So these guys, they have short gestation period and long post-birth development. Post means what? After. So after birth development, so they are the parent, the maternal organism, they carry the young ones in a pouch called the pocket-like structure. Why? In order for them to fully develop. Okay. What are examples of marsupials? Don't forget that they are pouched mammals, pocket-like structure. Examples of marsupials are kangaroos, alright, you have the koalas and the wombats. All of these are examples of what? Marsupials. They'll ask you, the following are examples of marsupial mammals except one. they'll give you kangaroos, they'll give you koalas, they'll give you combat, and maybe they'll now give you echidna. So echidna becomes the answer because echidna is a monotreme mammal. And please, monotremes are also called egg-laying mammals. These are mammals that lay eggs. These are mammals that lay eggs. So egg-laying mammals are called monotremes. Okay? And examples of monotremes are echidna and platypus. Echidna and platypus are examples of monotremes. Egg-laying mammals. Egg-laying mammals are also called monotremes, and they belong to order Monotremata. Alright, Monotremata is the order, Marsupiala is the order, Eutheria is the order. So when the organisms are involved, it becomes monotremes, marsupials, eutherians. You can see that. So please, echidna, platypus are monotremes, kangaroos, koalas, and wombats are marsupials. Man, dogs, cats, foxes, hyenas, sheep, whatever, all of these are eutherian, they are placental mammals. So please take note of that. We have analyzed this guy already. Let us look at the different periods. We have the different periods such as the Carboniferous period. We have the Triassic period. Alright, we have the Jurassic and Cretaceous period, and we have the Cenozoic period. You must not joke with this. Now, the synapsids are known. The synapsids are actually reptiles. Now, the synapsids are known as the ancestors of mammals. It means that mammals originated from the synapsid. Alright, and the synapsid, they originated from the late Carboniferous period. Do not forget that. What did I say? The synapsids are known as the ancestors of mammals, and of course they originated from the Carboniferous period. And don't forget that these guys, they have what is called tempora fenestrae. Alright, the synapsids, they have tempora fenestrae. Now please, mammal-like synapsids are also called mammal-like reptiles that look like mammal are also called non-mammal synapsid. Non-mammal synapsid. Examples of non-mammal synapsid or mammal-like reptile are Pelicosus and Cynodont. Pelicosus and Cynodont are exactly. I asked the question of that. Okay, let me leave it for that. I don't want to. So as we progress, we are going to look at these questions. Now that is for the Carboniferous. All right. You now have the Triassic period. Now it is the Triassic period that the true mammals evolved or emerged. Very important. It is the Triassic period that true mammals evolved. What is one known true mammal that evolved? We call it Morganocodon. So Morganocodon is the true mammal that evolved in the Triassic period. The organocodon mammal are called true mammals, and they evolved in the Triassic period. So please, and these mammals, these organocodon mammals, they were small, nocturnal, and insectivorous. Now, small, why were they nocturnals? They were nocturnals because they were active at night. Nocturnal animals are animals active at night because they have more rods than the cones. Insectivorous, it means that they feed on what? Insects. That is for what? The Triassic period. Now we now have the Jurassic and Cretaceous period. Please, the period in which mammals became diversified into marsupials and placentas, it is the Jurassic and Cretaceous period. Please, the diversification of mammals into marsupials and placentas is the Jurassic period. Of course, mammals, they have different set of teeth, which are the heterodons, or we have the incisor, the canine, the premolar, and the molar. Now, the Cenozoic period, alright, the Cenozoic period is characterized by the origination of modern mammal. Modern mammal, and the extinction of non-avian dinosaur. Now, the origination of modern mammal and the extinction of non-avian dinosaur occur in which of these era? It occur in the Cenozoic era or period. So please, these things are very easy. All you need to do is give it your time. So from what we have done so far, let's look at the questions we have on the board. The first one says, okay, the instructor says they use the options in question 1 to answer question 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first one says the extinction of non-avian dinosaurs and the rise of modern mammalian groups occur in which of these periods? Of course, we treated that just now. It occurs in the Cenozoic period. Don't forget that. 2. Synapsids originated in the late Carboniferous periods. We treated that. 3. The first true mammals emerged in the Triassic period. Yeah, in the Triassic period. Okay, the Triassic period. Please, I have a code which will help you. T. The first letter here is T, which is, okay, the first letter here is T, and the first letter that begins through is what? T. So TT. The only period here that begins with T is Triassic. And Triassic, guys, we have the true mammal, which are the organocodon. Okay? Number 4, mammals diversified into marsupials and placentas in Cretaceous and Jurassic periods. It is very easy. Number 5, in which of the periods were the mammals small, nocturnal, and insectivorous? Of course, the answer, as I told you before, is what? Triassic period. The next question, or the last question, which of these was called ancestors of mammals? Of course, the synapsids were called the ancestors of mammals. Now, before I round off the class, let me drop this, which is very, very important. Let me drop it. Now, you know that mammals, they are adapted, or that is, they have different adaptive features with which they survive in their respective environments. Okay? Now, there are 3 terms that you should not joke with you. Then we have questions coming out from there. We have what is called the plantigrade. That is a pattern in which organisms walk. The plantigrade. Now these organisms, they walk on their whole part. That is, they walk on the entire foot. They walk on the entire foot. They walk on the entire foot. We call them the plantigrade. In the textbooks, examples were not given. Alright, but for a better understanding, I was able to do one or two findings on plantigrades. So, examples of plantigrades are human beings, bears, squirrels, raccoons. You have the skunks. You have the lemurs, which are examples of primates. Okay, we have the opossum. We have the porcupine. We have the porcupines. We have rats. So all of these are examples of plantigrade. They walk on their entire foot. The second one is the digitigrade. Digitigrade. Now these organisms, they walk on their toes. They walk on their toes. Examples are ducks, cats, lions, tigers, hyenas, okay, cat, dogs, hyenas, foxes, wolves. All of these are digitigrade. They walk on their toes. But the ones that walk on their hooves, alright, they walk on hooves. That is H-O-O-V-E-S. Alright? Mammals that walk on their hooves are called ungitigrade. Alright, ungitigrade. Examples are, you have rabbits, you have zebras, you have horses, you have elephants. So all of these are examples of ungitigrade. Okay, I think this word is not good. It's ungitigrade. Ungitigrade. Okay, please take note of that. Don't forget I said that mammals have complex teeth. They have the incisor, the canine, the premolar, and molar. At this point, we call it a day. In our next class, we might be looking at more questions on this chapter 1, or I might just proceed to shooting videos on the chapter 2 of this course. Please, if you do learn something in today's class, do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Do have a wonderful day.